You didn't stay in that abusive relationship because you have low self-esteem. It wasn't because you just didn't know any better. It wasn't even because you're codependent. It was because your nervous system was being manipulated by a behavioral mechanism that's more powerful than reason and definitely more powerful than your basic survival instincts: intermittent reinforcement. In psychology, intermittent reinforcement refers to a reward pattern where the outcome, affection, intimacy, safety, relief, is delivered unpredictably. Sometimes your partner is loving and apologetic and the intimacy is really good, and sometimes they're cold and cruel and you never know which version of them you're going to get. That unpredictability rewires your neural pathways. It messes up your dopamine system and your brain becomes fixated on waiting for the next reward to come. It's the same pattern that keeps gamblers at the slot machine long after they've lost all your money. The slot machine doesn't reward you every single time. It rewards you inconsistently, and that unpredictability is what keeps you sitting there. That's not a glitch. It's not an accident. That is the most addictive schedule in operant conditioning, and it's called variable ratio reinforcement. And it makes it so hard to give up. Even after the reward disappears, you keep chasing it. And if you've been in an abusive relationship, then you understand exactly what I'm talking about. I remember feeling like if I could just, behave well enough, which is literally the term he would use. He would call it my behavior. If I could just be good enough, forgiving enough, patient enough, that he would come back around, and that the version of him that love bombed me would stay for longer than a day, but he never did. They'll throw you those little breadcrumbs of hope, just enough to where you're still addicted to that cycle, but it's never enough to actually be in a healthy relationship or to show any signs of genuine change. And it's just unpredictably enough to make sure that you never feel safe and that you never feel secure. Because if you never feel safe and secure, you're going to keep performing. You're going to keep bending yourself into smaller and smaller shapes and trying to fit the idea of what you think they want. And that means that they still have control over you. But because they've conditioned you to believe that it's on you and that they're doing nothing to orchestrate any of this, you're going to get frustrated with yourself, and you're going to start to take it out on yourself and begin to hate yourself, which, guess what, makes you even easier to abuse and control.